Right now, on to the point. A controversial bill signed into law aiming to help children in case their parents get deported.
We're protecting families every way that we can.
We have been complaining this bill violates parental rights.
In State Matters, the cost of insulin.
Experts call diabetes a nationwide epidemic. California is joining 28 states and the District of Columbia in capping insulin co-payments.
A new video message from Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. Why dozens of airports, including Sacramento International, are refusing to play it. And we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month with a young lady's journey to adulthood and finding the perfect quinceañera dress.
Good evening. As always, thank you so much for joining us on To The Point. I'm Alex Bell. And Governor Gavin Newsom just signed a controversial bill that would allow relatives to step in as caregivers for children if their parents are deported. As ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen found out, one organization believes that this would endanger children. She's here to explain more.
Alex, opponents of this legislation say this would violate parental rights, but the bill's author tells me this does the exact opposite, and it's to protect children from enduring additional trauma as immigration raids continue.
We stood by our values in California, and we're protecting families every way that we can, especially now during this really scary time.
Assemblymember Celeste Rodriguez is the author of AB 495, recently signed into law by Governor Gavin Newsom. It will create guidelines for schools and medical facilities during immigration enforcement actions and protect sensitive information like immigration status. This comes after the Trump administration started increasing immigration enforcement throughout the state.
It creates a new temporary joint guardianship in probate court to ensure that families can select someone they know and love and trust to care for their child, to care for that child in the event that they are absent.
The California Family Council, a Christian-based public policy organization, says there is already a working system in place.
But we already have something in place for this called the CPS. Like, if a child is left alone, you call the police call social services, the child is picked up, and then a court will decide who best to take care of the child.
And the biggest issue with this new law, the caregiver's authorization affidavit. The California Family Council believes it violates parental rights. The organization says it has requested Assemblymember Rodriguez to add a signature line to the affidavit for parents to sign.
Read the affidavit. It does not require a parent's signature. So how can you say the parents are involved in picking who gets the child when they don't have to sign it? I don't understand. I went into their office, explained this to them, and they had no explanation for me.
ABC 10 asked Rodriguez about this criticism.
So the child care affidavit for the past 30 years has not required a parent signature.
Rodriguez says the lack of signature is in the event the child's parent is not present to sign or no longer alive, adding that this law is to ensure children are not left behind and are cared by someone they know and love. The California Family Council is now considering taking legal action against the state and encouraging school districts and hospitals to not give anyone access who presents the caregiver authorization form. Alex.
All right, Jeannie, thank you so much. In State Matters, experts call diabetes a nationwide epidemic. With a new law, California is joining 28 states and the District of Columbia in capping insulin co-payments. Now, millions of Californians struggle with diabetes. According to the American Diabetes Association, the disease affects 11% of the adult population. Over the last decade, the cost of insulin has skyrocketed, the financial burden forcing many patients to skip or take a lower dose of the drug, which is why Democratic State Senator Scott Wiener authored and Governor Gavin Newsom signed Senate Bill 40, which limits a copay for a 30-day supply of insulin to just $35.
We've had patients who have made the choice to forego their insulin because they didn't have the money to pay their copays. It's very disappointing.
Now, if you are insured, under a large group plan, typically those provided by employers, you will see a cost difference starting on January 1st. For individual and small group plans, that start date is January 1st, 2027. Well, 2 weeks into the government shutdown, and its effects are being felt across the country. More than 750,000 furloughed federal workers, plus essential employees required to work, won't get another paycheck until Congress convenes. ABC's Christian Cordero has the latest for us from Washington tonight.
The standoff in Washington has spanned 14 days with no clear end in sight. The same funding bill has repeatedly failed to pass through the Senate, leaving millions of Americans without a paycheck. When asked whether he might consider a different negotiating tactic, House Speaker Mike Johnson said it's on Democrats to change tune.
Manu asks, why don't I change my strategy? I don't have any strategy, Manu. I'm doing the right thing.
Republicans want to pass a basic funding bill that punts certain health care issues to debate another day. Democrats demand those issues be taken up now, expanding Obamacare subsidies and reinstating Republican cuts to Medicaid.
The American people know that Republicans have shut the government down because of their unwillingness to provide health care to everyday Americans, working class Americans, and middle class Americans.
Congress will continue to get paid through the shutdown. Most federal workers will not. The union representing Capitol Police, which protects lawmakers, says its officers have missed a full paycheck. Law enforcement and military service members will continue to get paid, as announced by the administration today. At least 4,000 people have been laid off across the federal workforce from departments that include Health and Human Services, Homeland Security, and Treasury. Another 750,000 workers have been furloughed.
The Democrats are getting killed on the shutdown because we're closing up programs that are Democrat programs.
Employees deemed essential, like TSA agents and air traffic controllers, are forced to work without pay.
Not knowing exactly how I'm going to have childcare for my kids or put gas in the car or pay the next mortgage payment adds a certain level of stress onto an already stressful profession.
The latest challenger of Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley has declared his candidacy. Today, Dr. Richard Pan announced that he is running for Congress in 2026. Pan served in the state Senate and Assembly, terming out in just 2022. He ran unsuccessfully for Sacramento mayor in 2024. Pan joins Democrats Tyler Vandenberg, a Marine Corps veteran, and Nevada County Supervisor Heidi Hall in challenging incumbent Congressman Republican Kevin Kiley. Now, his congressional district is one targeted in California's redistricting efforts. If voters approve Prop 50 in the November 4th special election, District 3 will become smaller and also include part of the city of Sacramento. The Pentagon is telling beat reporters to sign restrictive new rules by the end of today or surrender their press passes by Wednesday. The new Pentagon rules restrict reporting on news not specifically approved by Pete Hegseth's team. Many news organizations are rejecting the ultimatum and saying they will not sign, including Fox News, the former employer of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Fox signed on to a statement with ABC, CBS, NBC, and CNN saying they would not agree to Hegseth's new rules. It said the policy is without precedent and threatens core journalistic protections. Editors and reporters say that they will continue to cover the U.S. military thoroughly with or without press credentials. And a video of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem blaming Democrats for the federal government shutdown is ready to roll out at airport TSA security checkpoints. However, there are several major U.S. airports that are refusing to play it, including Sacramento International Airport. In the video, Noem says in part, quote, Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the federal government, and because of this, many of our operations are impacted and most of our TSA employees are working without pay, end quote. More than a dozen major airports confirmed that they will not show this video. The airports expressed that they declined the video, partly due to state laws or it being deemed a violation of the Hatch Act, which prohibits political activities of federal employees. It is not yet clear if any U.S. airports have agreed to play Noem's video message. Still ahead on To The Point, we take you inside the world of quinceañeras, where family, tradition, and sparkle all come together for one unforgettable moment. How the search for the dress becomes a celebration of culture, identity, and love.
And it certainly has been quite a soggy Tuesday. We're still tracking rain and finally snow developing in the Sierra. We'll look at Futurecast after the break.
But first, another headlines tonight. Thousands of unionized employees are on strike at Kaiser Permanente across the state, including Roseville. Today began a 5-day strike amid ongoing contract negotiations. Union members have said they want a contract that, quote, delivers on the core priorities of the frontline healthcare professionals. Kaiser Permanente says hospitals and medical offices are still open. The U.S. and China are imposing new port fees on each other's ships amid the threat of more tariff hikes. Chinese analysts accuse the U.S. of starting this latest tit-for-tat by imposing new export controls last month. They say that's why China recently tightened restrictions on rare earth minerals. As a result, President Donald Trump is threatening a triple-digit tariff hike on Chinese imports by November 1st. And the government shutdown reached its 14th day, with the Senate returning from its holiday break. Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson refused to call lawmakers back to Washington, and President Donald Trump's budget director vows to keep firing federal workers. Democrats have focused on trying to keep Affordable Care Act subsidies from expiring. Johnson said he won't negotiate unless Democrats first agree to reopen the government.
Moving in, or is it moving out? Let's get to meteorologist Brendan Minchef with a look at our forecast.
Well, it'll start to move out here before too long, but right now the rain is very much here. Not nearly as heavy as what we saw yesterday, but it is still soggy and will continue to be through the rest of the evening. We're finally starting to see snow develop, though, as you take a look at radar and satellite. And you can see the showers are a little bit lighter across Sacramento right now, especially in the San Joaquin Valley. It's mostly dry, but this rain is going to return. We're going to continue to see light to moderate rainfall through the overnight hours. But again, what we're really watching now is snow. We've got chain controls up on 88 and Highway 50 right now, where snow is very well established, especially at Echo Summit. We'll see a camera in a second. But snow is still struggling to really gain a foothold along Interstate 80. We've seen some snow at times, but it's been a little bit hit and miss. Here's Soda Springs right now. You can see we definitely have some snow on the shoulders of the roads, on the grass, on the trees, but really the main lanes of 80 are still open and working at this hour. But a different story on 50. Definitely a lot snowier, a lot more winter weather happening on Highway 50. Again, this is at Echo Summit, where there are chain controls in effect. In terms of rainfall so far, as of about 6 p.m. tonight, Vacaville with about 1.5 inches, Sacramento with about 1.5 inches, Stockton not far behind, Modesto over 1 inch, Davis over 1 inch, Angels Camp coming up on 1 inch of rain. But really the eastern suburbs of Sacramento have not seen that much rain. Roseville only about 1/2 inch, Folsom less than 1/2 inch of rain. Okay, as we look at Futurecast, again, we're going to continue to have some rain wrapping through the valley. That'll be during the evening and the overnight hours, but it will really taper off after midnight tonight and before the morning commute on Wednesday. In terms of snow, we're going to continue to see snow, especially across Interstate 80 through the overnight hours, before that too starts to wind down early tomorrow morning. So for the morning commute, a few sprinkles, but that's going to be about it, really. But after we get past sunrise on Wednesday, even the snow starts to wind down. And by the time we get to Wednesday afternoon, we're looking at a mostly sunny afternoon with further clearing headed through Wednesday evening. In terms of rainfall still to come, about another 1/4 inch or so for much of the valley. In terms of snow, we're looking at another 2 to roughly 6 inches. Some more snow coming for Interstate 80. Again, hasn't really built in yet, but Highway 50, we're talking about another 2 to maybe 3 inches. Tomorrow afternoon, drier, but still cool. 64 in Sacramento. We're going to be in the mid-60s across the valley. And we are going to start to warm up a little bit, but still below seasonal in those mid-70s this weekend, Alex.
Right after the break, To the Point, we have a rite of passage, a family tradition, and a moment of transformation, the quinceañera. We go on the search for the perfect dress. Well, turning 15 is a very big milestone in many Latino families, and a quinceañera is a celebration of tradition, family, and the journey from childhood to womanhood. And while the meaning runs deep, there's one part of the celebration that always takes center stage, and it's the dress. As we close out Hispanic Heritage Month, we take a closer look at this cherished tradition and the price tag that often comes with it.
A quinceañera is more than just a birthday. It's a cherished rite of passage, marking a young girl's step into womanhood, and a family celebrating a new chapter together. One of Latin America's most cherished traditions celebrates a girl's 15th birthday. More than a party, it connects generations through faith and family. From choreographed dances to the father-daughter shoe ceremony, every moment marking her step into womanhood.
Do you see anything that pops out to you that you'd like to try on?
And before the big day comes, one of the most important decisions, finding the perfect dress. For many, that search is as meaningful as the celebration itself.
We're looking for my dream quince dress.
Analia Lynn's quinceañera is coming up next year.
Honestly, the dress selection is the most important part to me because I just want everything to look perfect and like the dress to be like the main thing.
Her mom, Samantha, says Esmeralda's Bridal and Quinceañeras in Arden is the only place she'll shop for her daughter's big day. It's also where she got her first daughter's quince dress.
The dress part is stressful. No, that is really hard, I feel like, but it is one of the most funnest to see her face be bright and light up.
We tagged along with Analia, her mom, and Saida, a stylist at Esmeralda's, as they search through mountains of glittery tulle for the right color and style.
Yeah, this one's really cute. Yeah, we can do this one.
All right.
The dress isn't just about matching a theme. It ties every detail together. And more importantly, it symbolizes something far more meaningful.
It shows who they are, even without them having to say anything.
I love to see her plan what she wants. She knows what she wants. She knows the styles. She knows little details. It's really more of them just maturing and entering that next step into adulthood. It's their big first grand, hello, this is my daughter.
Styles have changed over the decades.
Back in the day, I would say it was very, very more conservative. 90s, 80s, like they would all have to cover up. Back in the early 2000s, when I was in quinceañeras, it was all white. They looked more like wedding dresses, but they were always the ball gown. That's what's never changed.
But now it's all about the corsets, glitter, and bows.
More glam, longer trains, bigger bows. Like this dress so I have here, definitely something that girls want. Bling everywhere. There's glitter on the bottom, there's a gemstone on the top. Also a thing that's become very recent, they all want the off the shoulder. Most dresses though that do come with are detachable.
Esmeralda knows it's an investment for families. Some dresses range from $1,000 to $3,000.
It gets a little emotional sometimes when parents, they do all they can to get whatever dress they want. Sometimes price ranges are a little out of their budget. They'll do it and that the daughters look grateful. That's definitely very moving.
Big, bold, and beautiful. The quinceañera gown is more than fabric. It's culture, family, and a young girl's dreams stitched into one unforgettable look.
I want my dress to have like a lot of like sparkles and like be like bedazzled and just like really just be like that girl.
It'll have so much of her personality in it. You know, she's very flamboyant, flashy, and loud. That dress needs to represent her.
And the journey of choosing the dress creates cherished moments and lasting memories.
It's honestly just been so much fun, like going dress shopping with my mom.
From the first fitting to the final twirl, choosing the one is just as special as the celebration itself. Samantha says you'll know it's the one by
her smile. You'll see it from her smile. When she really knows, that big smile that she has, that's the dress.
And when the curtain opened on Analia's final dress, the smile said it all.
10 out of 10.
A 10 out of 10? You think this is the one?
I think this is the one.
And those claps and cheers meant something much deeper for Analia.
The meaning for me is honestly just being with like my family and my closest friends before like I get onto like a big journey into my life.
Every gown tells a story, one of tradition, family, and a dream stitched into fabric and lace.
It's hard because to me they're not that great big woman that, you know, they think they are, and I still want to hold them close, but then I want to also show how amazing they have become as little women, and it's a very sad and happy moment.
And as they transition into womanhood, what would you like to say to them as their mom?
Never give up. Always keep going. Don't let anyone hold you back. And you could do anything that you want to do.
As always, thank you so much for watching and for always inviting us into your home. And don't forget, you can download our free ABC 10 Plus app if you want to catch up on any of our Hispanic Heritage Month stories that you might have missed. Have a great night. I'll see you later.